right now. Minus 16, minus 21 with a wind chill in Ottawa.
It's the Friday Morning Thumb on the Live 88.5 Morning Startup.
All right, and in for Louis B. Hobson this morning from Deercast and Crew, Ottawa filmmaker and blogger Christopher Redmond. Hi, Chris.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello. You have a Friday morning thumb, a thumb up or a thumb down?
Well, you bet. It's cold outside, so I'm giving my frostbitten thumb up for Frozen.
Oh, good.
That's right. So
right.
This is the new Disney film, and it is a true return to form for the company. It's really reminiscent of all their best animated films.
Okay.
So, I mean, when it starts out, it has these almost kind of tribal hymns, and it reminded me, first of all, of like The Lion King, right? And it's inspired by a Hans Christian Andersen story, much like The Little Mermaid. It takes the same sort of approach to magic as Beauty and the Beast, right? Where, animals can't talk like horses, but objects can. So in this case, it's a snowman. And that snowman is actually the best comedic relief they've had in a film since Robin Williams played the genie.
Oh, good.
Really?
wow.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a totally different style of humor, but just this really lovable kind of goof who's overly optimistic and singing these songs about how he wants to go to a beach, but he's a snowman. So they're like, should we tell him what would happen? Everyone's like, no, just let him have this dream. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And it's got these really sassy lyrics, too, because it's the people who wrote Avenue Q and Book of Mormon who did the lyrics.
Oh, really?
So it's a big change from those other classic films where the princesses aren't so precious anymore, right? So they've got lines like, I don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. I could never imagine Jasmine or Belle or any of the other princesses singing lines like that. But it is a really great, refreshing film.
I like the updated version of like Frosty the Snowman, right? Because as a snowman, he still wants to do what Frosty wanted to do.
That's it, and they mine a lot of humor from that, and the irony of him not realizing, what snow is and how it melts, and it's really fun.
Cool. A thumbs up then for Frozen from Disney. What about Oldboy?
Oldboy, boy, I am not going to be so generous with this one. Now, Oldboy is a remake of a Korean film with the same title, and it's a much-loved film, loved by most people except for me. So it is this really sort of twisted, sadistic, and ultimately silly film that kind of goes from this standard drama to basically a fever dream of this guy who is captured for 20 years in this room. He doesn't know why. And, somehow he has a TV and he trains himself. So he's watching, Thigh Master videos and somehow becomes a martial arts expert. All right. And then he's released and goes on this wild killing rampage. But the killing rampage is about as silly as a Power Rangers episode, right? People are attacking him with these boards that might as well be made of styrofoam. So if you got 20 people attacking him, all the boards are breaking and he's doing fine. It's just really silly. It's not my cup of tea. And I don't think most people out there.
There's big stars in this.
Yeah, there's Josh Brolin, who, if you remember, we talked about Dallas Buyers Club last week. And what's so amazing about that is how serious they took the performances and lost all this weight. Well, James Brolin's commitment to the material extended to about sticking his stomach out to look pregnant when he's fat.
Brolin, right?
Josh Brolin, sorry. And, how guys do that sometimes in the mirror, they stick their stomach out and then kind of sucking it back in 20 years later to look buff. I mean, it's really a really low effort affair. Yeah, so that's the new Spike Lee film.
All right. Well, the Thigh Master angle really probably appeals to him, Al. But,
Spike Lee. Spike Lee could do better than this, is what you're saying.
He really should, yeah. At least he didn't call it a Spike Lee joint at the beginning, though. It was a Spike Lee film, so maybe he's growing up a little.
Wow. What about, we're hearing a lot about this, and it's getting rave reviews, Judi Dench and Philomena.
Yeah, so Philomena is the film that you can finally go bring, your mom to, that you don't have to worry about hammers to people's heads. It's really a heartwarming story. This is with Steve Coogan playing a journalist who helps an old woman who's about 80 years old track down her son, who she was forced to give up for adoption 50 years ago. It's a true story, and it really refuses to be sentimental. It's a really nice story. And she's a really interesting character, Judi Dench, in it, where she's kind of defending the Catholic Church, saying, "Oh, they didn't have a choice. They had to take my child away." And he's saying, "No, you should be outraged. Like, what's going on?" And it's a really interesting dynamic between them. And Judi Dench, boy, to think that she played M last year in James Bond, as tough as nails, and now she just seems like this sweet, frail old lady. It's an amazing performance from her.
Cool. All right. There you go. It's the Friday Morning Thumb. Some movie reviews from Christopher Redmond from Deercast and Crew, Ottawa filmmaker and blogger. We'll put a link for him at live885.com and then click on Startup. Thank you very much, Chris.
Ottawa traffic on Live 88.5.
This traffic update is for Ottawa.